Morning everybody, bit of a different one today. I've come down to the NEC in Birmingham for the Jewson's Live on Tour event 2024. I thought it'd be quite interesting because Jewson's seem to have a lot of decorating products on their range now in store, and getting an invite to come down, I thought I might just have a look around to see who's here, what products actual Jewson's are actually selling that's geared up for the decorator. And straight let's call the builder, because builders do a lot of plastering, and some builders seem to think that you coat their plaster up with a thin down coat of PVA. But saying that, so do a lot of unskilled painters and decorators, I'm going to say loosely, or people who don't know. But no, I'm down here at the NEC today. As I walked in, I did get ushered across to the Model World Live 2024 because they thought I was, yeah, I'm going on the catwalk today. I'm joking on that one. I did know where I was coming. Straight over to the Jewson's Live 2024 tour. So without Hugh, Pew, Barney, McGrew, Cuthbert, Double and Grub, I'm going to go inside, just have a walk around, see what's available for me to look at. And anybody who's really product related regarding painting and decorating, I'll have a little touch base with them. I do know, because I did look on the app earlier, who's here, and Hamilton, Crown and Dulux are here. They're companies that I probably didn't touch on when I did. If you look at that playlist there, the painting and decorating show in Coventry. I went around as many people as I possibly could, but I didn't manage to catch everybody. So if I can touch base with a few people that I've not spoke to before, I will do. And if there's anything really interesting, I'll try and have a word with those companies as well. Just to make it like, if you're the wrong side of the country, you're not going to come down to the NEC to see Jewson's Live. So I'm here to help. I'm always here to help. Right, I've come into the Jewson's Live show, and first stand I've come to is the Bostik stand. Now, I know as painters and decorators we have a lot of problems with acrylic, corks, mastics, sealants that we paint over, and we have crazing and bits and pieces like that. So I thought who best to talk to is Ricky. He's the main man. He's the social media guru when it comes to talking to people on the internet with regards to product and product knowledge. So I'll leave you in the capable hands of Ricky. Yeah, we've got EastEnders going through our minds, haven't we? And Bianca, sorry Ricky, but we've got to get a laugh somewhere. I'll leave you capable hands of Ricky.
That's absolutely fine, thank you for that. So we're going to be talking about Bostik A80. So this is part of our Bostik Professional range, and this is a instantly paintable decorator's cork. Now, what sort of benefits are you going to get from this? If we take a typical 1 hour paintable cork, there is a considerable amount of water in there, and hopefully you can see this if I bring it closer. You get a large amount of shrinkage. So this was filled up, tooled flat, and you get all of this shrinkage as the water evaporates. Now with an instantly paintable decorator's cork, you don't get that level of shrinkage, and you can see that it just stays pretty flat.
I've never seen anything like that, Ricky, because I've just been saying about the corks that I use. I am here, everybody, but I know this is one of the telltale things about it, particularly a cheap cork. When people are buying cork that £2–3 a tube, when you're wiping it off with a bit of a damp cloth, you can actually be taking off as much as what you're putting on, but also once it starts drying, you get that concave effect with it sinking. Concave, you know the difference between concave and convex? Hopefully, that is concave. Back over to Ricky, sorry.
Thank you very much. So what issues can you get from that? Well, if you end up painting some of these corks too early and it's still shrinking, you can get all of this type of issue where the paint is just going to crack. Now, when you look at a lot of paints nowadays, they're not as elastic as they once were. So they used to be able to accommodate a little bit of shrinkage. Now with a lot of water-based paints, they will crack if the cork isn't completely dry. So with an instantly paintable system, you don't get that level of shrinkage. So fingers crossed, you won't get these sorts of cracks occur.
Where's my free tubes? I need to try it, don't I? I think this is a product that I will be trying in the future, and it'll be on the channel, and I will actually show you it actually in use, because there's no point Ricky just telling you how good it is. You need somebody like me to actually demo it, explain it to you in the situation that I'm actually doing it on a proper job. But I'm going to say thank you very much, Ricky. It's been very interesting because I've learned something new. It's a new product to me as well, and this is what I'm here for. I'm here to help you as much as anybody else. Moving on to the next stand, we've got Hamilton brushes. Now, at the Painting and Decorating show in Coventry, I didn't get a chance to talk to Hamilton. I know a lot of you know about Hamilton. I tried to do all the stands that are the ones you probably know about. But again, I'm at Jewson's Live, and there is a stand for Hamilton, and I thought I'll just have a word with Sarah, and she can just tell you about the products that she's got on offer that suit the professional painter and decorator, but also the DIYer, the person who's just doing that one-off bit of painting job. They have a brush for your budget, and that's what we're all on about. We're always looking at the right priced product for you. So I'll pass you over to Sarah.
Hi.
I've not got a gimbal to move it in. Thank you.
No worries. You probably want to point at this. This is the easiest thing to point at. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sure all of your listeners know Hamilton, right? Of course. So
How long's Hamilton been going?
270-ish years. So we always say it over 250, but we're pretty sure it's about 270.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know it was Hamilton Acorn, not that long ago.
Yeah.
But it's got quite a long history of being revolutionised and taken over, and mergers, and a lot of the people who set up Hamilton all that time ago, they actually developed the first brush makers societies, and they're the first people to bring stainless steel ferrules in, the first people to bring in resin to set all of your filaments and that kind of thing. So we've got
as opposed to vulcanised rubber.
But we did actually do vulcanised rubber as well at some point. But the point for Hamilton really is that we've been constantly doing that sort of those revolutionary steps through our timeline. So we've got to obviously the 2000s now. Paint is very, very different than it used to be. I mean, you've even got hybrids, and you've got recycled paints now as well. So what we wanted to make sure that we do as Hamilton is we move the paint, because at the end of the day, what you're using our products to put the paint on.
I know, go back 30 years and speak to my father. And if you want to watch a video about me talking to my father, it's just there. He's been in the trade since 1959. When we used to look at, go back 20, 30 years, a synthetic brush, we used to laugh at a synthetic brush. It was classed as a Mickey Mouse brush. It was what an amateur would use. They'd go to B&Q, they'd go to just a DIY centre and pick up a cheap brush thinking they were going to get a finish with it. Roll on another 5, 10 years when water-based paint started coming through, we'd got the push towards a synthetic brush, but we'd still got the mindset of that proper plastic bristle. That's all I can describe it as. It was like using a yard brush. But move on another 10, 15 years to the 20s, the 23s, 24s. We have technology on brushes like this, even down to the Hamilton Perfections, down to this Speed and Ease of the for the Decorator. What has changed on the brush filaments then? Because we'd have I'm talking over you, sorry. We've got hammered ends and we've got flag tipped ends from tapered days of old when men were bold. But now we have special bristles, haven't we?
We do. So, yes, you're right. Everything you just said is right. As paint has changed, the filament needs to change. But the one thing to understand before we talk about the different filaments is that when you talk about an artificial filament, plastic filament, you can adapt the brush head to be whatever you need it to be, whether it to be about pickup, steady release, finish, short, stiff, long, fine. You can't do that, obviously, with natural bristle, because you get the bristle that you get. So us as Hamilton getting rid of natural bristle, as you probably know already, is quite a big step for us. But we have to do it because natural bristle brushes today don't perform in today's paints, and that's the key really. But all of our, if we're talking about brushes alone, all of our ranges that we have now, we've gone back to a really, really nice sort of good, better, best offering now. So Yes, we are all synthetic filament now, but each of our brush ranges, if you can get those in, each of our brush ranges now are adapted to the type of paint and also to skill level. So the reason we bought out Hamilton for the trade in September 21 now is because we have a lot of multi-skilled trade and contractors that do painting and decorating, and they want to do really, really well, but they didn't have access to the Hamilton brand, but they wanted it. So that's kind of the thought behind bringing that in. But as you said yourself as well, you've used some of these for the trade brushes.
I've used this one. You probably see a video on the, I'll point there, product testing, that for a cheap, cheerful brush, that's not bad. It's not a bad brush. And if you've just got the odd one or two doors, like sometimes I have to do, that you've just got an acrylic-based undercoat that you just want to bang on, there's nothing wrong with that brush at all. And also, I would say, and probably Sarah will probably tell me off or say yay or nay.
We don't say cheap and cheerful.
Cheap and cheerful. If you have got that odd occasion where you've got an oil-based paint to use, because there are some occasions that you've got a front door to paint that you need to use an oil-based paint because somebody wants a proper gloss level, you can apply your gloss paint with that one. You don't have to go back or look for a pure natural bristle. There are the man-made filaments, synthetic brush bristles now that will apply oil-based paints. Sorry.
No, that's all right. So pretty much everything that you just said there, really. But this, what we call our sort of entry level, more for the multi-skilled contractor. What they've got is a really good brush.
Yeah.
That entry level and that skill level and that price. And then move up to the two tiers that you'll probably already be familiar with. We've got our prestige brushes. Not a lot has changed here from what you already know about prestige. Difference with when you jump up from this level to this level is what you're getting with prestige is you've got a finer shaped handle, a waxed handle, and then the filaments on the brush head into prestige, can't see it on this one, but they're tapered, so they come to a really fine edge. So as you'll know, what that means is no splaying, nice control, finer finish. Moving up to perfection that everybody knows and loves. This is where our biggest change is. So what you would have been familiar with is we would have had a synthetic and a bristle. They are both synthetic now, but the way that we've tailored them is we've tailored them by type of paint. Because when you're a full-time professional decky, it's all about choice, right paint, right job, right brush, right tool. So we've got two choices now. So we've got our long and fine filaments, which would be the perfection synthetic that you're already familiar with, not changed. We've tweaked the head a little bit slightly just to make it better. And then this is our new brush. So this is the clean edge. This is our replacement for natural.
Is this what you launched at the Painting and Decorating show? I can't remember whether I got a free sample of that or not.
Well, I'm sure I can send
you.
We haven't bought it to Jewson Live because obviously we focus on probably these two levels.
And probably because Jewson Live isn't geared up for the proper professional decorator like myself.
It's fair to say.
Probably that's the reason why.
But that's why we've got these three ranges, you see, so that we can gear to the right skill level. Just
going back, can you remember the Brushmates brush keep boxes that you'd have the Vapex in? We always found when because we don't really use water. Well, sorry, we do use water, but we don't really use oil-based paints anymore. But when these were in a keep Brushmate box with the Vapex, we always found the varnish handles would be affected. Has that changed, or have we just moved on away from oil-based now?
We have improved them as much as physically possible. I'm going to be completely honest with you. At the end of the day, that is lacquer. You are putting it in a vapour box.
Of course.
At some point, there will be effect. But when we reintroduce these brushes, we've improved it as much as we physically can. And one of the tests that we do is that we do sit them in vapour boxes to make sure. You know. Personally,
I do like the drier handles. Or some of the brushes have got bamboo handles, and the dry handles I do like those because they do natural grease on your hands does put a bit of a polish on it.
Well, you've got three choices again here, so it's all about choice. So this one's completely bare, like I said. This one's got a nice wax finish to it, and then you go straight up to your traditional sort of lacquered finish. So we've got the preference and we've got the choice, and this is what Hamilton's all about. But this clean edge brush, just to get this in, yes, a lot of hardened bristle lovers have been quite frightened about the fact that we are getting rid of that. But every single person that has tried that brush who's a hardened bristle lover so far has fallen in love with it.
Right.
and it actually performs. It's designed to mimic natural bristle.
Yeah.
The hair is. It's synthetic hair that we've developed. And there are tests where it actually outperforms natural bristle as well.
Right.
So if you go to the Hamilton website, there should be a video on there
Yeah.
that will show you a test with
I'll put a link in the description below.
So you can literally see them painted alongside each other, and you can see that really pushes and drags those thicker paints.
Do you do, because a lot of people are all into the slash cut brushes now for cutting in, and you see plenty of TikTok, and you know I don't do the TikTok. I don't like a 15-second segment of something to try and show you how to do something. I need a good 20 minutes to show you how to cut in a wall. But do you do a slash cut brush that is geared up, particularly with a firmer bristle, because we like a firmer bristle for cutting in underneath your coving edges, cutting in that top line, down door frames, or are we still on that traditional squared off classic style brush?
We have got a range. We have got a range, which is good news. So in the clean edge in particular, bristle replacement, we've got a 35mm long handle sash.
Yeah.
We've also got 3 rounded sash brushes. So some people say sash, don't they?
Yeah,
Different things. So the long handle 35mm is what we call a rat tail. You might be familiar with that, quite a long thin handle.
Rat tail, yeah.
And then we've got the 3 sash brushes,
Yeah.
the rounded head ones, which are perfect. And then in the max stroke, we've got a 50mm rat tail. The reason we've got 2 different sizes is because we've only delivered the sizes of what you use, what type of paint you use.
Yeah.
So there'd be no good having the clean edge in a 50mm, because it's not the type of place that you would use it. So yes, we've got angled and sash and all that.
And I'll put Sarah on the spot. We are a decorator. Well, don't worry. We are a decorating firm that will still brush a wall if it's required. 4-inch brushes. We struggle with a 4-inch emulsion brush.
Yeah.
Do Hamilton still do a 4-inch emulsion brush? Do they do a 5-inch brush that can also be used for pasting?
I've got a 4-inch and a 6-inch emulsion brush. We do it in for the trade. I've got one
Matron.
Oh, he's busy. I'd get one for you, but he's busy. Yeah.
So they are available. They're all on the website, and there'll be a link in the description below.
Yeah.
Just to round up, rollers. Where are we with rollers? Can we just quickly touch on rollers?
Rollers pretty much not changed. So,
Right.
Where you see all of our brand new look and brand new packaging, your hammy green, the perfection, is still exactly the
That's
same.
still a really nice one. Yeah.
Our Prestige is still a Prestige. So the Prestige, some people prefer Prestige. It's a denser fabric, so it takes a little bit longer to soak up the paint, but then when it's in, you're going to get better coverage.
My personal opinion, I find they start off all right, and then they go a little bit flat. They don't hold enough paint, and when you've got a big ceiling, you're struggling. You're trying to load more on, and the actual nap of the I ought to be on the steering group for this. The nap of the roller goes flat, whereas if you keep with, do we call these a woven fabric?
This is a microfiber blend. I can't tell you the exact
They seem to hold the paint a lot better.
Yeah.
And they wash out. They go a bit crispy if you don't put a bit of soapy water in with it. But they do soften back up when you bed them back into your paint. And I said on previous videos about people have got this thing about wetting in your roller or spraying it with water before you actually come to use it. Now, if you load your roller up with your paint while you're going around cutting in your one wall at a time, the moisture in the paint soaks in enough into that roller to make it good to go. If you load that with water beforehand, you find that there's still an element of water that can be oozing out that roller, particularly when you're doing colours on a wall. Just a top tip Tuesday, probably try and load your roller up with paint more so than probably wetting it with water just before you're actually coming to paint with it. Just my opinion.
Yeah. And always dampen your hand and remove excess lint before you start.
Bit of tape round it.
Or a bit of tape.
Bit of tape.
Bit of tape.
Or wash it the day before. Right, so, and we go on to the cheap and cheerful.
So, yeah.
Speed and
We
ease.
don't say cheap and cheerful.
We don't say cheap and cheerful.
No, so again, we've developed a roller here in our sort of entry-level range for the contractor that's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
It's probably a closer fabric to that one, but nothing will touch the hammy green, obviously. But this is like a warp knitted.
Yeah.
This is also warp knitted, believe it or not,
Yeah.
but this is much
Yeah.
denser, much denser. So obviously, like you were saying earlier, but this is a really good roller as
And
well.
have you got these in a medium and a long pile for
Short, medium,
textured?
long.
Yeah, short, medium, and
short,
long.
medium, long, short, medium, long, short, medium, long, extra long.
Yeah, lovely.
4s, 9s, 12s.
Yeah. And then do you also do the comparable 4-inch mini rollers that match the naps of these?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
We do these them in multi-packs
Yeah.
for the trade. We do multi-packs again for prestige, but we sell them singularly in packs and perfection, which you'll be familiar with anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
I think we've got all the information we need. I'll say thank you very much to Sarah and Hamilton, and I'm going to go onward and upward to the next stand. Okie doke, I'm over at the Acano stand at the Jewson's live show, and they have the Pro roll-on plaster. Now, you've probably seen me on a previous video where I've been trialling some roll-on plaster, and I thought how good it was. Now, I know that this has been on the decorating forums, this brand, which is the Roll Nova, and on this stand, they're actually demoing it. So I thought, get a professional to show me how I should have done it and how you can do it. And we've got Andreas that will just talk us through the process. He's got a mic on, and it's Ty. Ty's going to do the actual product application and smoothing, but Andreas will just be talking through what he's actually doing. So I'll leave it over to these capable guys who know their product.
So the good thing with Pro, all you've got to do is open the tub. No mixing required. So as you can see, Ty's just opened the tub, rolling it onto the plasterboard, and we'll smooth it out with a blade. And
How big's the tool, Andreas?
the tool
Is that
we're
a
using
metre,
now,
900?
it's about a metre, yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's as simple as that, really. The good thing with this product, you can, if you use half of it, if you reseal the tub properly, it lasts for 12 months in the tub. It's a ready mix, so no mixer required. Water-based product. One 12-litre tub does around 12 square meters, but it takes between 6 and 8 hours to dry, and then you can paint on it straight away, or if it requires a bit of sanding, it's easy to sand. It's very similar to your easy fill in terms of sanding. Yeah, and that's it really. It's as easy as that.
What's the maximum thickness you can take the material to build up over each day?
So you can build it up to 5 to 6 mil.
Right.
If you're doing like a skin finish, we recommend 2 to 3 mil.
Yeah.
But it can go over Artex. So depending on how big the stipples are of the Artex.
Sometimes it might be good just to take off the highlights of the Artex with a sharp scraper blade and then go over it with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go up to 5 to 6 mil.
Yeah.
Building it up.
Once that's dried for painting, which well, let's say next day, would you recommend putting a special primer on it prior to painting, or just treat it like an ordinary plastered surface, thin down your emulsion, or a dedicated bare plaster primer?
Exactly that. Just a thin down emulsion coat of that, and then you're ready to go with your paint, really.
Yeah.
But the good thing is you don't have to be perfect with it.
No.
Because it is easy to sand, we can actually let it dry as it is. So you can see it's not. There's a few.
Yeah, we get a little bit of trail marks and rimples, which.
But once that's dried,
they just sand out.
A light sand.
Yeah.
It'll be as smooth as anything, really.
I think for the decorator, and you're going to say, why am I showing you a plastering product? We come over, we go to jobs where there's bad plastering, and we're trying to get a surface that's as near perfect as possible. And when we've got wallpapering to do, and we want that high-end finish, because we're going away from that 120 quid a day painter, we want to go to that 150 quid a day painter, don't we? We want to get a little bit more money from the jobs. If we can smooth out bad walls to get an improved finish, and clearly we charge the customer for it, but we will be getting that repeat customer back because we have gone above and beyond. And I'm going to put it out there, is spray plaster dead in the water? Because this We're laughing. Spray plaster kits of £5,000–6,000. There's a time and a place, and if you're doing big contracts, you'll probably say spray plaster is ideal. But as a small decorator, you and me, if we can skim out a wall in an hour or a room in a morning, let it dry, come back and sand it. If you've got a Mercury, if you've got a Festool, even if you've just got a hand sanding block, you can nib down that surface and get a near perfect room to decorate. How much is it a tub? About 30 quid. How much are the tools? Probably 30, 40, 50 quid. You'll probably get some cheaper ones on Amazon, and you need a roller that's about 20, 25 quid. Once you've got those tools, you're set for life. Think about it. Work smarter, not harder. Right, the next stand we are on at the Jewson's Live Show 2024 is the Icon stand. Now, I know I'm a bit of an icon. Everybody's stopping me as I'm walking around wanting my autograph and things like that, wanting selfies. But we are on the Icon stand, and I'm going to put you in the capable hands of Paul. He's going to tell you about the products that, as decorators, we are probably using more and more than using the traditional style of dust sheet and floor protection. So Paul's just going to tell us a little bit about what they do and how it's going to benefit you as a painter and decorator. Thank you, Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul from Icon Protection. We are a surface protection providing company. We have a number of products to cover all sorts of different surfaces in lots and lots of different ways. Our number one biggest selling product we have in the UK is Anti-Knox, which are the 2mm plastic fluted sheets. A lot of people know them as Corex. We do those in a number of sizes. We do the big 8x4 sheets that are common within the building industry. We do a 2.1 decorator sheet, and then we do a much smaller handy sheet for smaller areas and DIY jobs. We also offer our TacTech carpet and hard surface films and our glass protector. But our sort of biggest growth area is coming from our sustainable products. We have X-board and Ramboard. Both of these products are made from what is called compressed fiberboard, which is essentially a recycled hard pulp material. So it's 100% recycled material. You can put it down on the surfaces. It's impact resistant. It has a spill guard in it, so there's no fluid going to penetrate that if there are any spillages and so on. Critically, it's breathable, so it's ideal to be used on wood surfaces, as there's no moisture going to build up within that. And when you're finished with these products, they can go straight back into cardboard recycling, and they generally tend to work out a little bit cheaper per square metre than some of the other products as well.
That's really interesting. Do you recommend a certain tape to put on these boards, particularly the X-board?
Yes, we do a very specific jointing tape that you see here. It is sold as a system, so it's quite important. The weakest point of any surface protection is always the joint, so it's really important you use the correct tape. A lot of people think, well, I'll just use gaffer tape, for example, or duct tape. The problem with that is there's a number of things. Duct tape doesn't like getting wet. If it gets wet, it tends to turn into a very, very gooey substance. Secondly, it always leaves a residue. So if you want to reuse this product, when you come to stick it down again, where the joint is, you're going to have lots of residue, and you're going to have a hell of a job trying to get to stick down where all the sort of dust and everything's picked up from that.
Is that quite a low tackish tape then, that you can actually peel that off the board cleanly?
No, this is quite the opposite. This is a pressure sensitive tape. The more you walk on it, the more it'll adhere to the surface. When you pull it up, it will take a small layer of the board away, but it's not going to do any damage to the board doing its job. The spill block that it has in it is throughout its fibres. So if a little layer goes missing, it's not a problem.
Matter.
A, you're going to re-stick over that area again. And secondly, like I said, it will perform throughout the board, top to bottom. It hasn't got a surface coating. The spill block it has in it is in all the fibres of the product.
See, I've learned something today, because I didn't know there was a dedicated tape for this, and what I've been using is just the cheapest masking tape, just to hold it down, which when you come to take it up, and if it doesn't matter if you're taking it up to be putting it into recycling, but you can pull up a roll of the X-board and you'll be pulling up half the other X-board with the top surface, because the stickiness of the masking tapes pulled it off, because it's been a little bit too cheap and cheerful, shall we say, cheap and cheerful.
Yeah, and you'll just find as well, because this is paper-based, the day you come to throw it in recycling, the other thing you can actually do is cut the join, leave the tape there and just retape over the same area.
Good idea.
because it's paper-based, this can go straight into recycling, the same as the board can as well.
And what sort of prices are these for people? I mean, we've got
So a roll of X-board that we have
how
here.
long is it? A 30 metre?
So this roll of X-board here covers 27 square metres,
Right.
which is equivalent to almost 10 of the big 8x4
Yeah.
anti-knock sheets that we do.
Yeah.
So, but this is a lot easier to carry.
It's easier
a lot
to go in your
easier to
van.
store. It takes
Yeah.
up a lot less room.
Yeah.
And price-wise, you're looking between 30 and 35 pounds a roll.
Yeah.
So price per square metre, it does work out cheaper than buying sort of the equivalent.
And that
of
is very
Horrocks.
competitive with anybody else who's in the market as well.
Absolutely, you know.
What thickness of grade paper is that? I mean, some decorators will use lining paper on the floor and probably use 2000 grade. That is probably thicker and better than using 2000 grade
Absolutely,
lining
yeah,
paper
yeah.
because of the moisture content that won't go through this.
Yeah, it's a lot more durable.
Yeah.
It has a certain amount of impact resistance
Yeah.
as well, which I know with decorators isn't so much of an issue because they're not using heavy
Yeah.
tools. But it generally will it's a lot more durable. And the other thing is obviously you can roll it up and keep using it time and time again.
Yeah.
So there is a cost saving to be had there
Yeah.
as well.
No, it's good. Thank you very much, Paul,
You're welcome.
and very interesting.
Thank you.
Cheers. Right, the next stand we've come to is the Werner stand, which you've heard of that name regarding ladders, steps, hop-ups and the like. So I'm over here now with Phil. Phil's a good name. If it was good enough for the Queen's husband, it's good enough for me. And it's good enough for him. So we have got a bit of a demo going on of some step-ups. Do we call them step-ups, hop-ups? Now, you've probably seen me do wallpapering of ceilings, and I have, not this brand, I've got another brand of step-up that we use that just gets you that right height to reach a ceiling, a standard ceiling, 2.7. It just gets you that right height that you're not overstretching, you're not overreaching, and having a batten stroke board step-up that is 1.1, 1.2 metres long can be very handy. So I'll pass you over to Phil and his associate who's going to demo away. So Phil's on mic, you'll hear him speaking. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to the Werner stand. What we're going to show you today is one of our products that we've been selling really well. It's an adjustable and linking platform. So the way I've set it up at the moment, if you were using this on stairs, you could actually do it on stairs like that, but we wouldn't recommend this to rest on another product. But for the stair situation, you could have that. You can lower and raise the length depending on what the height is to adjust to. But the benefit of this product, apart from its linking capacity, Daniel's going to show you how they link together. It's basically we have a situation where we remove one of the legs and we link the two of them together. So if you're doing a decorating job at home, rather than just doing a 1 metre stretch, you could do a painting and a decorating job. You could do the paper on the ceiling if you still do that in your role.
We definitely do, Phil. We definitely do. Thumbs up on that one.
Yeah, I know with painting, you probably use the situation where you're using a metre at a time to save the splashes. But on this product, you could literally have it at that height, and the weight, it'll take 136 kilos per bench, but you can extend that and do a lot more of them. We've tested up to 4, and there's a potential that you could do more, but we can use 4 of these. But the product, even in that height, can be raised at all levels, depending on your height requirement for the job. One up a bit more. And you can do jobs like that. So depending on your height that you can need, it's quickly adjustable. And then also on the plus side, when you need them to disconnect, it comes off and you can carry it around the job site quite easily with a big grab handle in the middle.
That's really handy because my cheap version of that hasn't got a grab handle in the middle, and you can virtually rip your fingers off. What's nice about this as well, you've also got the step on the side just there, so you're not having to do a big reach with your leg. You can actually walk up it like a ladder to get onto your platform to work from. And yeah, you've seen if we do top corner there's plenty of videos where I've shown you how to do wallpapering of ceilings.
Yeah, so that's our product there. It's a really good product. It's been well received at the trade show we're at today. Lots and lots of interest from both decorators and plasterers. but it's been selling very well in the decorator market. And it's available from most retailers.
Is the a retail price on this to give us a benchmark idea on what they're costing?
It's roughly around £120 per machine.
Yeah.
And then you double up. But in the cost saving, you've got a 5-year warranty with these products.
Yeah.
Werner are amazing at what they do with their warranty process.
Yeah.
They will always sort you out. If you have issues, they'll talk you through it.
Yeah.
They've got a fantastic customer service team.
Yeah.
And we can always look at doing a little bit of work with you.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Thank you very much. They've also, don't forget, they do step ladders and their traditional ladder, you know, do proper ladders as well, don't
Can I
they?
just show you the lean safe while you're here?
Yeah.
So the lean safe ladder, to the naked eye, looks like a standard step ladder. But the benefit to you as a decorator while you're using this product, it's really good that you can use it. It goes inside your van. But the quick and easy solution is when you're doing anything with height, straight up.
Ooh. And what height does that take you to? That's
3 metre.
It's just 2.9.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2.8, which is that's very handy.
But you can use it in that position, or straight there like that. And with that position, if you've got the joists in the wall there, it sits in.
That would be a good one to use if you've got a small staircase wells to do. You can actually flip that out.
Yeah.
You've also got, what do you want to say about these? You've also got little compartments in there with these screws and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And these are all non-marking. So in a situation of someone's house, you're not going to mark their wall. You're not going to mark their floors.
And these are also geared up for the electrician, aren't they? For
There may be an aluminium version coming of these.
Yeah.
We have done one in the past.
Yeah.
And we are looking at what we could do with them. But the GRP just far outweighs the aluminium one.
I don't want to say it, and a lot of you have seen our videos. Well, Beckwith Decorators, we still do have wooden steps, but we are a firm that's been established since 1965, and I think the steps aren't much younger. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for that. Very interesting. And if you need to check out steps, please check out Werner.
Right, so sustainability.
Right, so over on the Hippo stand, probably takes no introduction, but I'm speaking to John. He's going to talk through the products that are ideal for us as decorators, what's new to the industry, what haven't you seen before, what have you seen before. But clearly I'm trying to just promote some products that are probably new to the market that you might not have ever seen before. So let's hand you over to John.
Morning, guys. So some of the products I want to talk to you about today are based around sustainability. You've all heard the latest news from the government on the ban of plastic wipes. Products that we've just introduced to the market, it's been out now for about 6 months, are bamboo wipes, as you can see here. Most of the branches of Jewson's, Travis Perkins and all the big builders merchants stock them now. They're a lemon fresh smell, a large size to compete with most of the wipes that are out there. They will do paints, silicons, any stubborn grime, snots of plaster, anything like that. But the most important thing is they leave your hands smelling lovely and lemon fresh. 6 months in the right conditions, they will start to decompose. You can throw them in your food waste bin or your compost heap at the bottom of your garden, and they're going to disappear and say bye-bye.
Is there a slight element of moisturiser in it then for your hands?
Yep, so there's I think it's aloe vera or something similar to that, where it will leave your hands nice and soft at the end of it, and we all know builders like soft hands, so...
But we're talking about decorators. Now,
decorators.
Yeah, sorry, John. Now, decorators can end up looking like a bit of a snowman if they've got the wrong pile roller and they're using cheap, thin emulsion on a ceiling. I'm just thinking I would be able to moisturise with that, wiping my face. Now, you won't think I'm coming up to 65, but I moisturise every day. I think I might be looking even younger if I use these.
Well said. The other product I want to show you, which is a sustainable product, is the foil sausage. You would have seen these in a lot of the stores that you buy from at the moment.
Available in Decorator's Cork and a flex deck filler or painter's mate to you guys that you would know. So if you've got an environment like stair treads, door frames and windows where there's constant banging, a conventional Decorator's Cork will crack. The flex deck filler will bend. There's 12% flexibility in the product, and it's a cracking product, and it's very affordable. The main thing is it eradicates plastic cartridges. The conventional cartridge like this, 150 million of these bad boys go into landfill every year in the UK alone, invariably half full of product. So what you're doing is these are going to be in the ground for 2,000 years. No one knows really what's going to happen. Once the water runs through the landfill, we could be drinking the stuff that we've thrown in the ground. So single-use plastic, not good, bad noise, really good noise. This squeezes down to a little stub of aluminium that big, which can be recycled back into other products because it's aluminium. So there's two really good products. And another product's going to be close to your guys is dry cloth. You're probably using blue roll at the moment. Wrap it around your hands 4 times. You've got a big wedge of paper. If you've got a spill, you wipe it up once and throw that blue paper away. This cloth is multi-absorbent, can be wrung out, washed in a washing machine and used 2-3 times. Okay, so it's made from bamboo, which means once you've discarded it and thrown it away, it's going to decompose and compost down, and you say bye-bye to it, you never see it again. Some of the other wipes that are out there in the market have got plastic in them, which means they're going to be around for 2,000 years. So another good reason to go sustainable on that. Lastly, our ultralight filler. This is a lightweight filler that is what it says on the can. Lightweight, will dry in 15 minutes. So if you want to get in and out quickly on a quick repair job, this is your product you want to do. What's so special about it? It's got crushed marble in it, which means that when it dries really hard and smooth. If you're using the right filling knives, continental filling knives or the big blades, if you swipe over it, your last swipe, and you do a good job on it, you don't need to sand it. It will finish really good. 15-minute drying time. The crushed marble, so once you've done the job and you've decorated, you don't know where you filled it. So if you go back to that and you want to hang a picture, you drill the hole put your raw plug in. As you've turned the screw, conventional filler, it will crack. With this, because the crushed marble's in there, it holds it together and you get a good fix in, plus the fact you haven't got to go back and redecorate. So real benefits that. And again, you'll find this in most outlets, Dulux decorating centres, Crown decorating centres, places like that. So great product, I'd recommend it.
I've actually used that product and it's ideal for when you've got nail board, doing my hands, no face, nail board screw pops that you scrape off.
Yes.
You actually just tighten the screw up and just one swipe of that filler and then come back to it after about half an hour. It's dried enough that you can actually paint over it. So that lightweight stroke filler is actually ideal for things like that. So that's good. Anything else?
That's us done.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'll go on to the next stand. Right, just stumbled across this company, Ox. Now, there's a video there which I did roll on plaster, and it was the Prestonet multi-surface, you saw that video. Now, I use the Bessiere, I think you pronounce it Bessiere, smoothers. I knew that Ox did a smoothing tool for roll on plaster. I didn't know where to get it from. I could see it was available on Amazon, but I thought I needed something quick, and that's why I went for the Bessiere ones. When I saw my Bessiere stroke Prestonet rep, I purchased theirs. Now, at the Jewson show, you can see what I've got here. We've got the Ox stand. Now, Ox do these plaster smoothers. Now, they are used traditionally for the plasterer, but you can use them for the roll-on plaster. Now, you've seen a video a little bit earlier on in this section where you saw it being demoed with, I'll mention that on the company in a moment, but Ox do these smoothers, and John, he did tell me and I forgot. John has them to hand so he can actually show you what they're like. Now, the difference between these ones and the Bessiere that I'd got, which was a stainless steel fixed blade, these are actually interchangeable blades. So when you actually damage it, if you damage it, or you need to swap them out, you can do between a stainless steel and, I believe, a plastic blade for fine finishing, which isn't so much with your roll-on plaster, because we're not bothered what that looks like when it dries, because we're going to sand it down. But if you are needing a smooth finish in one go, you would possibly be using, John's going to correct me if I'm wrong, the plastic smoothers. But John will show us what we've actually got available through the Jewson's outlets.
So yeah, so we have the speed skim system here. So
he said he wasn't going to talk, so let's just put a mic on him.
So you can go on. There we go. So yeah, we've got the speed skim system here. So we've got a replaceable one with a stainless steel braid, here with the plastic. So a lot of this is down to preference. We've got actually what you want to prefer working with. So
we see you on
pick these up.
Thank you very much.
And the blade,
Like and
these plastic bits come off.
anyway.
Blades are interchangeable.
You
and
like
there's
the
a little bit of
plastic,
movement in here, just so it's flexible and nice to work with. Essentially, when you've got the plaster on the wall,
It's a good
you've got a nice long space here. So essentially, you can do it, work with it, and work down. So once you're working it, you've got a big area to cover it faster and smoothing out. Range of different lengths, different blades. So if the blade gets nicked or damaged, you can replace it and things like that. So, and kind of nice and ergonomic to help it when you're using day in, day out.
What's the smallest size that you go to on these smoothers, and what's the largest size you go to, John?
I think 600 to 1200 or 1800 off the top of my head.
Right.
I think 1200.
So these are actually geared up for a decent sized wall
Exactly.
area.
And that's the thing, when you're doing it, when you're doing big areas, you want to have a nice long profile, big enough so you can actually work it on some of the long ones, so you can do a nice big space, so you're essentially saving time on site.
Yeah.
And also smoothing a bigger surface, especially big walls, so it comes with different attachments, so you can do ceilings as well, across the ceilings, and just, you know, saving you time, so a lot of time on site.
Yeah. And having actually used these smoothers, albeit a different brand, I can see the benefits of covering a bigger area in one go. And I'm not a plasterer, I'm a decorator. But when you've got plastering trowels that are only that big and you're trying to smooth over a wall, I would imagine that's a bit of a ball ache. Whereas if you can hit it in one go with something that's that big, using two hands, put a bit of pressure on it, get it as smooth as you can in one go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Anything else to say, John?
No,
that's it. And as you say, these are being rolled out all the way through the Jewson.
There are a lot of Jewson branches and things, so pick up through local Jewsons. And
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
TV ready, yeah?
It's TV ready. We're over on the Dulux stand at the Jewson show. Now, on my last video at the Painting and Decorating show in Coventry, I did touch base with Tony, plenty of time for Tony. Tony sings off the same hymn sheet as me, proper qualified painters and decorators. There's not many of us left. But at the, I'm joking again. At the Jewson show, I'm here with Chris, who just wants to tell you and explain about the products that are for sale through Jewson's, which are Dulux branded, or Dulux paints. Here's Chris. I'm just going to put the...
Let's go up.
There we go. It'll be good for painting ceilings.
Not skirting boards. Hi Phil, everyone. I'm the National Account Manager for the Start Group. We're here exhibiting today. So within the Jewson portfolio, we've got everything from your Armstead contract mat, which is your cheap lower end paint, fresh plaster starting out, and we go all the way up. This is the sort of range you would see in store. So you've got your Armstead, which is the lower end, and then we've also got everything up to the vinyl mats and our diamond mat, which is a durable paint. And within our portfolio, within Jewson, we've also got decorators, corks to fillers, and exterior fillers, and also for exterior woodwork and masonry as well.
That's great. I'll ask, God dear me,
Sorry.
I wish I was born a little bit taller. There's a song about that. Who sang that song? Please tell me who sang that song about wish I was a little bit taller. Comments below, please. Are you finding that more people are going towards water-based paints than oil-based, or are you still seeing that there's a traditional dinosaur painter that still wants the oil-based paints available?
I mean, interestingly, within the Jewson market as a generalist range, or a generalist that goes in to get that. So we still see oil-based. However, within the market, we're seeing a lot more go towards water-based. There has been a big switch over the last couple of years. Everything we do now is aimed towards water-based, with our quick dry undercoat upwards.
And this is something you're actively trying to promote for,
Yeah, I mean,
for the future. I mean, I know when I was at college, they said by the year 20, sorry. When I was at college, they said by the time we get to the year 2000, the millennium, everything would be water-based. Now, everything wasn't water-based, but there was virtually a water-based equivalent of the paints that were coming through. Now, move on another 24, 25 years. I personally, as a decorator, seen a lot less oil-based paints, even down to alkali-resisting primers. That, if you don't know, an alkali-resisting primer is what you'd use on bare plaster in years gone by. Now you wouldn't use that. You could use... What can you use on bare plaster, please? Oh, where was I?
what do you use on?
Right, I was just on about oil-based paints because we've just lost a bit of technical glitch. We were just talking about oil-based paints and how traditionally stuff like alkali-resisting primer is used for bare plaster surfaces. Now, moving on from that, I said to Chris, what has he got that we don't use an oil-based paint to put on bare plaster? Because builders and decorators alike probably go into a new build extension or a new house and want something that is suitable for bare plaster because it's the alkali resisting element. What have we got, Chris?
So within the Jewson portfolio, we've got the Armstead contract mat, and there's also our Dulux Trade Super Mat, which is 99.9% VOC free. So in terms of sustainability moving forward, that would be the one to go for.
Yeah, and this is something that you can thin down and put on as a wash coat.
Correct.
A mist coat, people call it mist coat, wash coats, onto bare plaster. And then once you've got that on, you can go over with virtually anything else.
Correct.
That's good. I think that's about it. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm going to go for my lunch.
Thank you.
Just walking around the show, and I'm going to say, how rude. No painting required. Well, this is all to do with building products, and I don't think, is there any decorator in the UK that actually likes painting outsides? Well, if you can actually go to an outside and there's no painting other than a doorstep or, I don't know, front gate, don't need to say any more. Clearly, I've not made it as a big influencer yet because Chris is here on stage. His way. His way. Probably be me next year. Or maybe not. Right, we're coming up to the end of the day. It's been a long day for me, 8 o'clock till 2 o'clock. You know what I'm like on a Friday, I don't like working Fridays. Now, I'm over with Martin on the CT1 stand. I didn't get a chance to touch base with CT1 at the Painting and Decorating show in Coventry. You know, I was very busy talking to other stands, and this CT1 stand's always a busy one. And it's so busy, we've even got Foxy down at the bottom end just there. It's full of celebs, influencers and influenzas. I think I'm the influenza, not the influencer. But I want Martin just to run through the products that CT1 do that are geared up for the decorator that can help you in your professional trade as in a painter and decorator. So over to Martin, and I'll leave you in his capable hands.
Brilliant. So right, we'll start with FC1. This is our new product, was launched in the Painting and Decorating show last year. So basically it's a filler and caulk all in one. So the problem with the old age fillers is that they're just chalk and water. So the product, once it dries out, it evaporates, it shrinks, it cracks. What we've done here is we've made a filler and a caulk from styrofoam emulsions and high quality acrylics. So you can use this as a filler and as a caulk at the same time. So if I get this demo board, to show you it working as a caulk, as you can see here, we've got a slight gap there above the skirting board, but it's as easy as applying like so. Haven't got to be perfect with it. And then a little bit of water on your finger, and it's as easy as tooling like that. Now, if you used to do that with a caulk, it'd just go to powder and it crumble. But the texture of the product is like a foam emulsion.
Yeah.
So it won't rub away, and this is great for that. The other great thing about this product is that we've put an ingredient in called elastoplast. So it's perfect for staircases and things like that. So when you get movement going up and down a staircase, normally they will pop. But this, it will contract and expand, and it's all over paintable within an hour. So, and as you can see there, it's easy to get off, no problem at all.
What percentage of it shrinks back from when you've tooled it up like that with quite a big gap? You can see me. Do you expect to see a little bit of concaving with it, or does it actually hold in place?
It will hold its shape. It will hold
That's
its
really
shape,
good.
hold its place.
I've said this before, your cheaper, let's call them your cork stroke mastics that the decorators might be picking up for 99 pence a tube. Just think what technology is in 99 pence a tube cork when you think the manufacturing, distribution and everything under the sun. What quality is that product that you're actually trying to use on a job when it's cheap and cheerful? Spend a little bit more and get something that's going to, well, what do we say? Buy cheap, pay twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true believer that. Now this retails at $3.99 per tube.
It's not a fortune.
So it's not a fortune, but you think what it cost you for a filler and a separate cork.
Yeah.
2 products, all in one.
Yeah.
So we've shown you the corking side of this great
Yeah.
product. Now I'm going to show you the filling side. Now this will fill up to 25 mil deep in one sitting. You can go deeper, but you let it cure and reapply.
I'm sorry, Martin, I'm just butting in.
Yep.
I was talking to the camera. Have you swapped tubes to something else?
This is exactly the same tube.
This is
As
the
you
same
see,
tube.
filler
Wow.
and cork. So here we go. I've got a slight gash there, and all we do, we overfill just slightly, and then we just get our filler knife, and it is as simple as done. And that's it. With traditional fillers, you would be bunking away, let it cure, fill it back in, rub it down. That is a finished product, let it cure, paintable within 60 minutes.
I've gone quiet. No, I've gone quiet. Because I know old style decorators that were using cork for filling 20, 30 years ago, and I've been back to jobs and I know who'd done it, and they'd used literally decorators cork to fill cracks. They'd raked them out, and you could tell because one, it doesn't adhere very well.
Yeah.
It pulls out like a rubber band if it's in that, but also it smears over the surface and doesn't go clean like, can we get in? Doesn't go clean like that.
And if you can see it there, you can see it is almost...
It'll be interesting what it's like when emulsion's applied over it. Can you still see a trace of the filler underneath
it? It doesn't leach through. Your one coat, it'll be gone. Yeah, one coat, it'll be gone. No problem at all. But the consistency of once it's cured, it's just like old chewing gum. It's flexible, it contracts and expands, so it will move. It will move, and it'll work.
These are the cheesy strips that your kids eat. You know, peel them. you know which one I mean. Oh.
So yeah, so that's our filler and cork,
Yeah.
all in one. And another little great DIY paint and decorating product is our Peel Tech. Now this here, I'll just get the product quickly. This is our Peel Tech. You seen this one?
Now, I've seen this demoed. I think it's a really good product. I've not tried it. My father, and you know, he's been on that video there, been in the trade 1959. He's got a garage door that I would like to spray finish, i.e. spray it with all coat or something like that, but it needs stripping. I've said to him, I would like to, get my camera down, I would like to try stripping his garage door with this, but he's a bit against it because he says, how many cans is that going to take for a double garage door? And because it's got a lot of paint over it, I think it might be taking more than one. Martin, how far does it go and how good is it on thick paint?
So you'd get about 4 square meters out of a tin, and it will strip about 2 layers at a time, no problem at all. A double garage door, possibly 2 cans, but you should get away with 1.
Yeah.
Because of the unique nozzle, it's got a spray fan. So if you do it close, you're getting concentrated. If you pull it away, you're getting a larger area.
You're putting it on your hand. What are you doing that for?
So this is to show
That's
you...
going to eat into your hand, surely.
No. Other paint strips on the market contain methylite chloride.
Yeah.
And that's what burns, gets down your throat and everything else. This is methylite chloride free.
Right.
So it's not going to burn you.
Yeah.
Just be careful if you've got skin conditions like eczema or stuff like that. But apart from that, it is great. So I'll let the product do the talking. So here we go. We have a demo board here with a selection of paints. As you can see, we got silver spray paint, what they use for graffitiing. We've got a masonry paint, which has gone to brickwork. We got a yellow gloss with an undercoat. And I'll do one more. we got a red spindle there, a red gloss spindle with an undercoat, and these are all oil-based. Now what we do is we leave that for a minute, but if you can look carefully, you'll see it starting to bubble away.
Starting to bubble.
Double away. But it will also do things like embedded printer ink.
Right.
Now, how would you remove that?
Yeah.
So basically what I do is take this, we spray a bit onto the can, and just with a simple tissue, that will lift that out of that card without damaging it in any way or form.
What's interesting about this, and I'm going to mention the word nitromorse. Nitromorse used to do the traditional, we'd call it spirit-based.
Yeah, there we go.
And they did a water-based. Now, when you've got the, can we call it spirit-based? Yeah. Spirit-based, you had to neutralise the surface with, does Martin remember? You used to neutralise it with methylated spirit.
Yeah,
you used to use wire wool and methylated spirit, then wash it with water. Then they had the water-based versions. Now, Martin's using a product that doesn't need any chemical assistance to clean it off. You are just going to wipe it off with a cloth, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll show you. So
and once you've wiped it off, you don't need to neutralise it with anything.
No.
Is it good to go just to paint straight
all
over it?
we would say is if you wanted to paint it, leave it for sort of 40 minutes just
Yeah.
to let it burn through, or just wipe it down with a damp cloth
Yeah.
and you're good to go. But for example here, we've got the graffiti paint. If I move it, you can see it start to bubble
Yeah.
away, and it is as simple as I could take that out there with a tissue, and that is lifting it out of the grain,
Yeah.
and you see it's coming away straight
Yeah.
away there. No problem at all.
But this will work better on thicker paints because it allows it to eat into it, and
It's more of a time issue, really.
Yeah.
What we say is spray it, allow 5 minutes, but for purposes of the video, we're trying to do this really fast to keep the video short.
Yeah.
But there we go. We got a Sarantex paint there
Yeah.
on a brick. Obviously, if I was to use a scraper, it's not a straight surface.
Yeah.
So we try again, a bit of tissue, or we can go with the scraper, and you see that paint
and it's
coming
coming
away
off straight away.
straight away. Like I said, if I left that for a couple more minutes, that'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
There you go, with a tissue. I'm taking that, and it's gone back down the bare
Yeah.
brick straight away. Now we can look here, this has got the yellow glossy with the undercoat. Now this should do 2 layers in one sitting. So if I just take that, it will actually start eating away at the paint, and you can see
Just done it.
it's done it straight away.
Yeah.
And that was with the undercoat as well. Just to show you where the product's not there, it's not affecting it.
Yeah.
On the areas, straight away, no problem. Now, we got a spindle there with a red gloss and an undercoat. Now, I've done a job at home where I had the handrail, spindles and base rail. I applied applicated the product onto the spindles base rail. I left it for 15 minutes. Now, this was a 1960s house. So what I did was I let it do its work. Rather than touching it, because there's quite a few layers of paint there, respray it.
Yeah.
Go through what you've already done. It'll eat through what it's done and go into the next few layers. And just a bit of fine wire wool, blue cloth, and I was back down to bare wood in about an hour. So here we go there. Here's the red gloss, and it is as simple as that. As you can see, that's coming off there. If we get a tissue, we can even take it out of the grain.
It's good.
There we go. No
Gone are the days of using a blow lamp and burning your spindles off on a staircase.
smell and mess.
Yeah, smell and mess, and with the fire risk.
Yep.
That's great. Thank you very much for that, Martin. I hope that's a bit of an insight into better quality corks that can be used as a filler. I didn't realise it could be used as a filler like that, but going forward, I think it's a no-brainer. I've just moved down on the stand of the CT1 because Martin showed me a really interesting product that I feel you've got to see it. It's like, blow your mind. So over to Martin again, and it literally...
So this time we've got CT1. So what we say with CT1 is that if it goes into a gun, the likelihood it's going to replace both things. The only thing it won't replace is a fire mastic, because it only works up to 160 degrees, but apart from that, it will do most things. Now, the technology of silicons and sealants, they started off, you had silicons, then you had polymers, MS polymers and hybrid polymers. We've come out with what's called the tribrid polymer. Now that means a few things. One is the strength of it. Once cured, it cures to about 304 newtons per square inch. It's the same sort of strength as the aluminium weld. 2 is the colour retention. The colour you see is the colour it stays. Gone to days where whites go nicotine yellow. And number 3 is chemically resistant, so you can use it in diesel, petrol, oil, anything like that. Another great thing we've done was took all the silicon out of CT1 and all the isocyanides. So for that reason, it can't shrink and it can't crack. So if we take CT1, we can apply it any position overhead. We can stack it up to 50 mil, and it just won't go nowhere. Now, there's no solvents in it, so it's safe for asthmatics to use, using in hospitals, schools, and things like that. So as you can see there, I've done a little lump. Now, if that was a pitched roof or a flat roof or settlement cracks in the wall, you could take CT1 as easy as this, and you just smooth it over, and that'll be instantly patch repair. You see that there? Now the great thing about CT1, it's got no memory. So it doesn't string, it doesn't stretch, it stays totally flexible. No problem at all. Now that is over paintable within 20 minutes. Fully cured is about 18 hours, but if you used to stick, say, 2 bricks together, you wouldn't get them apart within an hour. So that's the sealing side of this great product. Also, it can be used in damp surfaces. Now this is what we call a damp surface here. Now, this sort of plastic is very slippery when wet, but we can take CT1 underwater and it will adhere, no problem at all.
Do you know what? My wife says she's that when she's wet as well. In that bikini.
In the bikini, really. So as you can see, that is stuck there, no problem at all. But we go a little bit further. We take our knife, we pop it into the product. As you can see, that blade has gone all the way through. But now I can score that and it will seal instantly, no problem at all. Now, the old age problem with things like leaking gutters and downpipes, stuff like that, if I had a leak, like so, I'll just fill the cup back up. If I had a leak, I can just take CT1 and it will seal instantly. Now, it's as easy as that. I've done the job. All I've got to do is smooth it off. If I don't like the colour, I can paint that within 20 minutes.
And you can actually see that the water stopped dripping from,
You don't say that.
Oh, no, right. Oh.
I'll smooth it. But then again, we can go straight over CT1 again and done again. And once again, I can smooth it off, job done. So that's the sealing side of that product. But at the same time, we wanted to create a super strong, flexible construction adhesive. So this is CT1 fully cured. As you can see, we do a range of colours. We do brown, silvers, beige, anthracite, black, oak, a dark green, which is new, a grey and a white, and also a clear. It's totally flexible. You can take it, you can twist it, you can even stretch it. The strength of this product is phenomenal. Now, if I was to show you this block down here, everything on this block is stuck with CT1. Now, it doesn't melt polystyrene, it doesn't affect it in any way or form, so you can use it on extra firms, king spans, anything like that. This glass here is full of water, and it's just showing you its resistance against things like E. coli, MRSA, algae, bacteria, no problem. It's friendly to back of mirrors. A lot of mirrors, if you use adhesive, you get a bit of condensation, it'll leach through, and you'll see where the adhesive marks are, so no problem. Here was the strength that we were talking about earlier on. Now that is fully cured, and that's the 304 newtons per square centimetre. But as you can see, this handle, the mass of that product there to the block, but it's only that little bit, but it still stays flexible and pliable. If we turn this round, you can see it can be used for lead mate, things like that, lead to felt, even in soaking wet conditions on rainy days. UPVCs, plastics, copper, marble, metal, steel, the list is endless. It is a phenomenal product. So that is CT1. But to go with the CT1, we do another product called MultiSolve. Now this is a non-aggressive degreaser debonder. So with this product here, we can take this, and it's non-greasy, so I can spray it on my clothes, and that will just literally rub out without staining any way or form. Now this is a great product for things like removing silicone. If you've got old silicone, score the skin, spray this on, have a cup of tea, come back and it will lift up, you just lift it off. This will remove beauty wax, ink, tarmac, bitumen, chewing gum, you name it, it'll do it. Brake dust, clean windows with it. But where it really comes into its own is with CT1. So if I take this card and I apply a bead like so, now at this point, a lot of tradesmen lick their finger and swipe it. That should never ever be done. Reason for that is your mouth's got so much bacteria in it, you're taking it out, pushing it in the product, and wonder why it goes mouldy in a month's time. And the same with washing up in fairy liquid. If you use a lemon fresh, it's got yellow colour in it. If you use a strawberry, it's got red colour in it. So use clean water, or we say MultiSolve. So now I've done my bead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a layer of MultiSolve. Now what that done there is put a barrier between me and that product. So if I was a smoker or something like that, I had nicotine in my hands, I'm not going to penetrate into the product. But now you'll see how easy this is to tool up. As smooth as that, I do that and I wipe it off. Easy as that.
Is this the product we're seeing on TikTok and Instagram where we're getting perfect silicone
this is the
bead
one.
seals?
This is the one. And this is the one where if you've done that lovely job, you've got it nice and smooth, looking great, the customer comes in, accidentally knocks it, and you're thinking, oh gosh, what am I going to do here? I'll either cut it out or try and make good. Up to sort of half hour later, give it a little spray, and I can rework that again. No problem, and straight off again.
And you could use those smoothing tools as well with
yeah,
it,
your
you?
Fuji tools, things like that.
Yeah.
I'd spray the tool, spray the product, and away you go. And that is MultiSolve.
It's brilliant.
Okay.
It's really, really good. And that won't affect anything around it if you've got paintwork or anything that it goes onto it.
Non-aggressive.
Because when it dries, it evaporates away.
It evaporates in about 3 to 4 minutes, and away you go. So your CT1 will still be uncured underneath, but the product will evaporate. But that first initial setting time, it's starting to skin, and it stops any bacteria that leaching into it. So yeah, that is MultiSolve. Silicone remover and a CT1 tooling agent.
Brilliant. Really impressed. And on that note, I'll say thank you very much to Martin. It's been very enlightening. I think there's a product there that I could be using in the near future. So probably you'll be in the same boat as me, wanting to use it. Thank you. Well, there we have it, everybody. We're just going to tie up this video now. I've got a few goodie bags from a few suppliers that do decorative painting and decorating products. And I'm just going to say, a good show to go to if you're in the building trade, and I know there's people who are watching my channel that are plasterers, builders, Jewsons. Check them out, because you'd be surprised what products they've actually got that you might not have actually seen on the side that they can actually get their hands on, or they might have them around the back and you've not even seen it before. But no, thanks for listening to me. I'm going to say to you, please watch the videos at the end, because they might be more suitable for you for painting and decorating related video content. But no, I've had a good few hours here at the NEC in Birmingham, and I'm going to sign out and get home now before it's dark.